Sam from Happy Hedgehog Post here. Today I'm going to show you how to make the felt corner bookmarks for the June envelope. First, you need to trace your patterns onto a separate sheet of paper and cut those out in preparation for cutting out the felts. Now that you have traced and cut out your patterns, you're going to put it on your felt. So I've already cut out, I'm doing the hedgehog first, so I've already cut out the hedgehog body, and then I cut out the back. So I'm going to put those to the side, and then we got to cut out his little face. When he's done, he's going to look like this. So we'll go ahead. I just placed mine on there, but I know a lot of people don't regularly sew, so you can pin it right onto the felt like this, and then cut. Okay, cut around his little ears. Okay, I'm just going to do a quick little trim, make sure we got it all looking nice and tidy. Take the pin off, pattern, and there's this little face. So you're going to want to take the outside there and then kind of put him on there where you think he's going to look cute. Now I keep mine down pretty low to the bottom there, because then his nose is going to go right here on the tip. And it should fit. I cut it, I created the pattern so it should fit really well like that. So you're going to want to probably pin him in place. Now you have more than one option on what you can do. What you can do is you can do a back stitch or a running stitch all the way around and completely attach this piece. Or you can do what I did on here, where I did the eyes and the nose, and then I did some stitching in the ears. So he's not completely attached, but he's not going to come off either. It's totally up to you on how much stitching you really want to do. All right, I'm going to do the nose first, so I'm actually going to put my pin this way so I can do the nose. Now I want to make sure that the tips match up. So for the nose, you're going to need some black embroidery floss. I'm going to actually move you in a little closer so you can see better. Okay. So I use all strands of the embroidery floss when I do things like noses and eyes. Not your thread. All right. So we're just going to give him a little nose. So what I do is I bring the needle up close to the tip there, and you're going to just go straight across, not all the way, but most of the way, straight across. And you can see it's most of the way, and then you're going to just go below that. Now you can just keep going line by line and make it smaller, or I like to do a triangle. So I go back to where the first hole is, bring that back up through, then I go down to the tip, but not all the way because you're not going to be able to get the needle in. So as low as you can go and get the needle in. And then I go back up to this hole from the first one, pull through, and then back into the point. Okay, so then you kind of fill in that thing, and if your nose looks a little funny, you can go back in and kind of stitch a little bit more to make it look more nose-like. All right, so you should have a little triangle there on the nose. All right, so then you're going to want to go in the back. I like to just go through one layer of felt in the back, and then bring my needle through the loop, pull tight. And you're going to trim your tails on both. So that you don't see those. And when your back is nice and tidy, I'm going to take off the pin now that the nose has connected it on. All right, so the next thing you're going to do is the eyes. So the eyes need to be up here and diagonal from the snout. So if you look at my finished one, you can see, you know, diagonally. That way it'll look centered and correct. Okay. So I'm going to actually bring you in a little bit closer so you can really see how to do the French knot. Get a longer strand. You don't need too long of a strand, but you need, you know, a fair amount just to give you maneuverability. And we've knotted. All right, so you're going to look at where you think the eye should go. So I'm going to go right here, I think. And what you could do also is take a pencil and mark. Okay, you know, like I think the eye needs to go here, and where I've already got the needle there. So I'm going to mark that one too. All right, and I think they look good that way. So see, I marked it with the pencil. All right, so for a French knot, you're going to come through the back. Okay, you're going to go through up the back, pull it all the way up. Then what you're going to do is you're going to figure out the best way to show this. Here. I'll use my felting block here to give me some height so you can see. All right. You're going to take the thread to the side, put your needle next to it, wrap around the needle twice, then bring it to the hole, making sure that it's taut. Put the needle through. Oh, geez, it's really stuck there. And then you're gonna pull. And now you've got a little eye. If you like smaller eyes, then only wrap once. All right, to do the second eye, we're gonna come back up through the back, just like before. Okay. Now bring the thread to the side, put your needle right there, then wrap and wrap, come to the hole. Make sure you pull your thread taut when you get the needle in the hole. Okay, you can see I've like pulled it taut and then push through. Where did that come from? Voila. Now you've got your two eyes. Now he's got a cute little face. All right, now in the back, you're going to want to go through the back of the first layer of felt, pull that needle through, bring your needle through the loop, and then that will tie you off and trim. Oops. And we'll trim the other tail too while we're back here. You won't see this anyway because it'll be covered up, but still nice to have it tidy. Okay, so now you can add some detailing to the ears. So you can use your dark brown thread that you'll use for the body. You don't need all 6 strands. I would say maybe 3. Give you enough definition. All right. So if you want to take your pencil and first mark it, you're just going to do a little inside loop into the ear to give the ear some depth. Okay. I'm just going to do a running stitch. So it'll just be a couple of stitches in each ear. And if you want it to be like less obvious, you could do 2 strands instead. Okay, and then go ahead and tie it off in the back to do the other ear. All right, here we go again. Make sure you can see. The more you do this, the easier it gets. So that means making the fox will be so much easier after making the hedgehog. So here I didn't go through both layers, so I gotta redirect that needle. There we go. Okay, now his little ears are done. So we'll come back here, again through one layer. If you go through both, it'll show up on the front, and that won't look good. There we go. All right, so next we're going to take the back and we're going to blanket stitch. As soon as I figure out where I put my, there it is, it's under my work mat here. Okay, so we're going to put these together, triangle to triangle tip, like so. I'm going to pin it. My pin has run away. There we go. I'm going to pin it right above his head. That way it'll be out of the way for the most part. So we're going to blanket stitch. We're going to blanket stitch just the sides. Okay, you don't want to do the top because that's where it's going to open to be your bookmark. All right, so we need more of our brown thread. Quite a bit. You probably only need 3 threads for this. It doesn't need to be super thick. all the embroidery I do, I'd be better at separating these, but I'm really not. Okay. Alright, so I'm going to start on the top corner and blanket stitch all the way to the other corner. That way it'll be one continuous stitch. So I go into the inside top corner and just go through that to get my tail in there started. All right. So you're going to bring your needle through both pieces. To start. All right, so we're going to do that same thing again because we need to get our thread over it. So you see how I'm breaking the thread and I'm going over the needle like that. That way, when it comes up, it'll make that little blanket mark. All right, so then you go next to it. You can space them apart as much as you want. The closer you put them together, the tighter it's going to be. So yarn, or not the yarn, that's crocheting. Okay, so the thread's going to go around the needle, and then you're going to pull through again. Coming a little closer just to make sure. All right, so we're going to go through again. Make sure you're getting through both pieces. Wrap it around, and then pull through. Okay. Wrap it around and pull through. Make sure you pull it, you don't want to be too tight, but tight enough that it's up against the belt. Alright, I'm coming a little closer. I want to make sure you really get it. Okay, when you get by the ear, I kind of go up underneath it a little bit. I don't go through the light colored felt. Wrap it around and then keep pulling through. Now it's up to you if you want to go around the face. I know on this one I did. Whoops. I went around the face there. So it's up to you. You could go underneath. You don't have to go through it if you don't want to. All right. I am reaching the point where I don't have much choice. So go through the back, wrap it around, and pull. Be careful when you're pulling because you might pull your tail loose there. I've done that so many times. Okay, as we were. All right, so needles going through all the layers, wrapping around, and then pulling. All right, so we're going to keep doing that all the way around. I think, oh, I've got a catalog here I can use to just kind of show you. So if I wanted to bookmark a page in this catalog, I would then just put little Hedgie onto that page, and voila, he's marked my page for me. So it's easy to see him sticking out, but he's not going to fall off of your page. And then you can see him on the page too. How cute is that? Okay, so now we're going to make the fox. So my prototype, he was a little small. He could be for a mini book. Maybe one of those mini Elsa Besco books would be perfect. But we needed a bigger one, so it would be on more books. So you cut out your pattern. Oops, what's that? No, some fuzz. Anyway, so you should have your 2 fox heads and then the fox face. So we're going to attach the fox face let me use my little foamy thing so you can see better. So you're going to want to attach his little face on just like we did with the hedgehog. We bring it down as close as we can to where it's going to look right. And we're going to put his little nose on. Same way, so you want 6 strands. So you have a nice thick nose. And that thread does not want to cooperate. There we go. Okay. Tie that off. Alright. Now, if you want to pin your fox face down, I recommend going through like that. Okay. There we go. So, you're going to get close to the tip again. It might actually be easier if you come down to the base of the triangle and go up instead of going down. Alright. So if you do it like this, then you're going to want to come up. Depends on how big of a nose you want. I think I'm going to go down a little bit. Okay, so you can see. Because you can always add more, but you can't really easily take it away. Alright, if you go back to your starting point, oops, at the tip, you're going to come up the other side. Kind of eyeball it to see, get it equal. Yeah, I think that's good. Otherwise, I can always add another stitch to make it better. Okay, and then we're going to come across, so you need to go over to this hole, not the one you just made, because you'll undo it. And then back into the hole on the other side. Okay, so you should have a nice little triangular nose, and then we're going to fill it in. We probably only need 1 stitch, so we're going to come back over here to the side. Felt is thick. It can be hard to get the needle through sometimes. Oh, looks like we're going to need 2 stitches, but that's okay. Alright, so then come back over. And then back over here. Whoops, I didn't go through 2 layers. Alright, now it's filled in nice. So, into the back, go through just the orange layer of felt. And then, my loop. Okay, there we go. Hold that nice and taut. We're going to trim that tail and that tail. Okay, so we got a nose on our fox. It's a pretty good nose, I say. Now we got to do the eyes. So again, you can use your pencil. You want to go diagonal. Say, okay, right about here, maybe a little farther over. And right about here. Now, if you don't want to do the French knot again, you have the option to maybe do a sleepy foxy face, like maybe he's sleeping. So I think we're going to try that on this one. Now in that case, we're going to take off some of our embroidery floss. Like I think maybe 3 strands instead of 6 for a sleepy face. Like he fell asleep reading. And these are great since we're coming into summer and the kids are going to be doing their summer reading. Mine never can find his bookmarks. He's always like, where'd my bookmark go? But these are so cute, they're not going to want to lose them. Okay. So I'm just going to do little half moon sleepy eyes. I'm going to mark them on here. can see the sleepy little foxy face. So I'm going to do the back stitch, so it'll be a continuous stitch. Okay. You're going to come in and go back into that last one. Now when there's a knot, I usually angle it like this. That way you don't get the needle stuck in the knot. It's got to be the most annoying thing. Okay, so we've got a good little sleepy eye there. Alright, and then we're going to tie that off to do the other side. I don't feel like that's tight enough. I'm actually going to do it one more time. There we go. We should be good. Cut off our tails. Okay, we'll do sleepy eye number 2. Okay. Alright, back into that one. Okay, 2 sleepy little eyes. Now that one I don't like how it looks actually, so I'm actually going to undo that. So if you ever have to undo, I just use my needle to lift up the floss on the stitches I made very carefully. Doesn't always want to work with you. Man, that one does not want to give. Right. There we go. I don't know why it's being so difficult. Alright, so I felt like maybe I didn't have that one quite centered, so I'm going to actually move the entire thing over. Okay, so yeah, sometimes you look at it visually and you're like, nope, that's not right. I don't like it. And then you just fix it. So we're just going to fix it. Okay, give that a go again. Alright, I like that one a little bit better. Okay, so I'm going to tie that off on the back, cut my tail, and then we get a blanket stitch, our other piece together. Now again, if you want to, you can attach the face all the way around, or you can just, you know, leave it like this. All right. I'm gonna make sure we all match up. That doesn't look right, so we gotta flip him over. See if that looks better. Yeah. All right, so you can pin to make your life easier. That way it won't shift on you when you're trying to stitch. Okay, so 3 strands should be enough, and I will get you started on the blanket stitch again, making sure that you really could see how to do it. It's really easy once you get the hang of it. I use that stitch all the time, making things. Okay, knotted. All right, so we're gonna come in. I left the ears for the most part free, so you can kind of test how it feels on your book to know how much farther you need to come up. So I left the tips for sure free. So I'm gonna come in about halfway down the ear. Okay. All right, so you're going to go through both pieces, do your thread around the needle, and then pull. You come next to it, go through both pieces, and pull. All right, make sure that you really can see exactly what we're doing. That's the hardest part, is when you're trying to learn an embroidery stitch, to not visually be able to really see what is happening. So I'm trying to do it from different angles so you can really understand. All right, and then when you get to the face, I go ahead and go through the face. But make sure I messed up there, see? And if you do that, if you start to pull it and you realize, oops, I didn't wrap my needle around, you can just stop and do it before you finish the stitch. See, we're okay. So you don't have to go through the face, you can actually go, you can kind of lift up with your needle and go underneath or right next to it. I'll do one right next to it so you can see what I'm saying. So I'm right next to the white, but I'm not through the white. You can go around, start pulling through, and then you can see I didn't actually get any of the orange thread on the white. So it's totally up to you if you want it through or not. It's visually up to you. All right, so you're going to keep doing that until it's all the way done, and then you have a bigger version of this. And then you've got 2 fabulous bookmarks ready for summer reading. I hope you've enjoyed this video. I hope it was helpful. Please click like if it was helpful to you, and stay tuned for the next video, which will be on felting the bumblebees and putting the beautiful mobile together. See you soon. Bye.